falling off, right? How many trucks?
So what's our biggest piece of evidence?
Well, my feeling is that there's 100,000 tons of steel.
So when we get the bastards in court, we'll just show them that the steel disappeared?
Well, you got to ask the question, where did it go?
It went to China.
Well, no. The 100,000 that's missing evaporated. And I think that in order to evaporate steel, you need temperatures of 5,200 degrees.
So when buildings are blown up by controlled demolition, that evaporates all the steel?
I think it was a third or fourth generation pineapple-sized nuclear bomb in there that just melted out the inside.
So it was a nuclear bomb inside of the towers?
Yeah. And third or fourth generation, that is something you would not recognize as a nuclear weapon. There's quite a few different things you can do with...
So it wasn't a conventional controlled demolition. They had a nuclear weapon inside of the towers.
Well, yeah. What happens? You can adjust a weapon to give you heat, blast effects, shockwave effects, and with nuclear, radiation. And that's what you had was nucleoid radiation.
So it was a nucleoid radiation. Was it all three towers?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many structural engineers are there with architects and engineers? Is it you and how many others?
Oh, they've got about 500 in the group.
No, I mean, how many are structural engineers, though?
Oh, I don't know.
Just you?
Yeah, there's probably about 10 in there, I think.
Do they all think it was nuclear weapons inside of the towers?
No, they tend to believe it was controlled demolition.
But that's not right. That was nuclear devices.
Huh?
But they're wrong. You're saying it was nuclear devices.
That's the only conclusion I can come to. And I mean, if I got these other people in a meeting for 2 hours, and explain to them, and then tell me explain to me some other scenario where you could do this.
Well, Charles, I really appreciate that I got to talk to you to get a real feel for how absolutely insane you are. I appreciate this.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
You're an
Yes. Although, as someone called me a couple months ago, and as I explained, the difficulty is that, frankly, my family won't even listen to this. My friends will barely listen to it, but no, apparently this is just the wrong part of the country for people to listen.
So you're not able to wake up people. You're not able to wake people up to 9/11 truth.
No, unfortunately not. The best I can do is I try to keep people's minds open. I try to open people's minds, but the point is I have not gotten any enthusiasm in this area. I'm pretty much all alone here.
That's stinks.
Yeah, I'm certainly with you. Like I say, it's just unfortunate that I don't get much support around here. The best I get is that people are willing to concede that yes, it's possible. The government might be lying to us, but there's nothing we can do about it, and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, there's a lot of. Well, okay. In any case, yeah.
Do you get people laughing at you or anything, like making fun of you?
Luckily, I have over 49 years. I have garnered too much respect for people to make fun of me.
That's good.
However, they take the approach that they practically treat me. Put it this way: some people will treat me as almost delusional.
No way.
Or paranoid. Okay.
Oh.
And of course, there's the eternal difficulty. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they aren't out to get you. In other words, paranoid is in the eye of the beholder because if it's true that there are evil people, if there are evil, powerful people in the world, which Jesus of Nazareth told us 2,000 years ago that there are, well, the thing is, it's not paranoid to worry about what they're doing. And
I'm looking at the irrefutable evidence and stuff that
like the beams being cut at an angle.
You're talking about the 45-degree angle cuts on the beams?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's definitely proof of inside job, because they cut them perfectly so they could haul them off to the shipyards to send to China.
That's correct.
Like, what would be your biggest piece of evidence in a court of law that we can use to convict these bastards and put them in jail where they belong?
Oh boy, don't get me started.
just your single biggest piece of evidence. Just your single biggest piece of evidence.
Well, I don't know. I think there's some very strange things relative to...
Well, in a court of law, what's our biggest piece of evidence in a court of law?
In a court of law? Ooh, let me think. I'm just trying to think what in court of law that would be defendable or prosecutable. Well, I don't know. I just have questions about Building 7. I have questions.
So you're saying we don't have any evidence 9/11 was an inside job?
Oh, I think there's real possibility.
So what's our evidence?
What was Cheney doing, you know?
Is that our evidence, what Cheney was doing?
That's correct.
So we need to go in a court of law and just ask what Cheney was doing, and that will convict him?
No, I'm sure that isn't going to happen.
So what's our biggest piece of evidence 9/11 was an inside job?
Oh, boy.
You said you had a whole bunch.
Well, I just have the issues that I have concerned about and reading about, just relative to actions that took place that day.
So what actions took place that day that could convict them?
I couldn't tell you, but I just know there are a lot of actions that were extremely...
You couldn't tell me? So you just hate America?
I'm sorry?
So you just hate America?
No, I don't hate America.
Then why do you... So do you think explosives brought down the towers?
There's certainly a number of people talking about that.
What's their names?
I don't know.
So you just hate America?
No, I don't. Come on.
Well, then what's your evidence 9/11 was an inside job?
It's a possibility. Have you heard the talk about the architect that was approached by bin Laden?
Oh, Jesus
And
Christ.
asked where to put the demolition charges when the building was being designed in the 60s?
Lord,
Bin Laden family?
So you think they're... Oh my goodness.
Have you heard about that guy? His name's Paul Afali.
Oh, Jesus. You're one of those out there kooks, aren't you?
He's what?
You're one of those way out there kooks, aren't you?
No, I'm just talking about an interview I saw with this man who was one of the designers of the building.
Yeah.
I don't think that's kooky.
Would you be willing to testify in court with your expertise to put them behind bars where they belong?
Yeah.
That's good. And what is your expertise?
Well, I'm just a residential architect. I'm not I don't handle high rises, but I do smaller projects. Well, I did. The thermite, isn't that a pretty
But the debunkers say thermite has never been used in the history of the world to bring down a building.
Well, my understanding is that that it's commonly used to bring down a building.
Your understanding is that it is commonly used to bring buildings down?
Yeah, no, look,
You're still a licensed architect in California and Nevada?
Yeah.
And you say the evidence raises unresolved questions about casual factors and event sequences?
Not casual, causal.
Oh, yeah, causal. Questions about causal. So what is your biggest piece of evidence 9/11 was an inside job?
I'm sorry, I don't have any evidence personally. All I know is what I read here and there.